Who knows? Who knows? Maybe. It was never a problem when you and your family were in the fucking crosshairs. I saw a post about how the police were shutting, they were closing traffic in and out of the island, shutting down the bridges. And people in the comments were talking. When my cousin got shot, they didn't fucking, close the bridges. What's that about? Oh, I'm sorry. When a fucking CEO gets shot, all of a sudden, we got to close down the bridges? People got places to be? What's that about? People are noticing. They're developing, dare I say, a little bit of class consciousness. I don't know. Yep, there it is. The number of CEOs getting shot match the number of school shootings per year. We'd have gun control legislation passed immediately. 100%.
Dude, no way. Bro, what happened? What is it? It says here the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, like the insurance company, got gunned down in broad daylight in the middle of New York City. Dude, check this out. What the heck? That's nuts. Bro, I know. And it says in the article that the gunman is still on the loose right now as we speak. Oh my God. Is he okay? No, dude, the CEO ended up dying at the... Oh, no, I'm not talking about the CEO. I'm talking about the gunman. Like, is he all right? Like, has he fled the country? Is he okay? Does he need food, water? I don't think you could say that.
Yeah, I mean, true. That is what other people are saying. Not me. Chat, not me. Never me. I would never say that. I'm shaking my head when I see these TikToks. It's not funny. Okay? What is this? Shouldn't the American people be getting their money's worth? Yes, we waste hundreds of billions of dollars a year in healthcare administrative expenses that make insurance CEOs and wealthy stockholders incredibly rich, while 85 million Americans go uninsured or underinsured. Healthcare is a human right. We need Medicare for all. Yo, it would have been way more sick if he just fucking posted that on a post about the demise of the healthcare CEO. Let me guess. I haven't seen this yet. Amy Klobuchar. Because I saw the post. I saw Amy Klobuchar's post. And I saw Tim Walz's post. And it hurt my feelings. I'm going to assume they're up there. Kamala Harris, oh no! Oh no! Okay, she was running for president. All right, let's look at the other individuals. These are institutions and shit. I want to see individuals. Damn, Amy did this shit for free? Oh my gosh, she did this for 14 grand, dude. Are you fucking kidding me, Amy? God damn, for 2024. Let's see. Maybe they cooked their last cycle. What? Amy, you fucking broke boy? Do filter by candidate? UnitedHealthcare Group recipients 2024. I did do filter by candidate. No, didn't I? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Amy didn't get shit, dude. She came out and started popping off her. Whoa. What? What the hell? Uh-oh. Deep State's coming after me, chat. Hold up. Hold up. Hold the door. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. We're back. We're back. I just got fucking... It's clobbering time. You know what I mean? I got clobbered. Little mini F. Little baby F. It's all good. We're back, baby. We're back. 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 A little bit of fucking not today CIA moment, you know? All right. Let's look at the new photos.
In yesterday's shocking killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO.
It's not the CIA. It's MI5. Benjamin Franklin of L. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs.
Police have released this. Look at this. This new photos coming in showing the suspected gunman
baby F, yeah.
inside a hostel.
Hold
like
on,
he's
lads.
smiling right there. This in the Upper West Side in New York City. CNN Chief Law Enforcement and Intelligence Analyst John Miller joins us now. This is a big piece of evidence in this investigation, John.
Well, it's a turning point. You know, we have been asking the metaphoric question, who is the man behind the mask? At least we don't know who is the man behind the mask, but we see the face behind the mask now. And, police worked with these images. This is at a youth hostel, which is on the Upper West Side. They were there yesterday, last night, actually searching a room that they believe the gunman stayed in. They believe this is a picture of him. He kept the jacket on and the hood up and the mask up almost at all times, according to people in that hostel. But there was this moment at the front desk in the lobby where the mask came down, and you see that smile. And this is so far the only image of his face without a mask, the best image police have. And what they said is...
They're like, look at his beautiful smile. It's not even the same jacket. It's a different jacket, man.
Even though it's not quality where you would generate a facial recognition image or something that would bring you to a mugshot if he had a record, what it is it's an image that if you knew him, a coworker, a friend, a family member, you would say, that's so-and-so. And that's why they're releasing it right now. They're trying to speed this up by literally crowdsourcing this clue to the general population.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly need the public's help, as it's now been more than 24 hours with this person, the suspect, on the loose. I mean, where do investigators think he is at this point?
Well, so this is a turn in the investigation. The idea that there was some thinking earlier on that he was a New Yorker because of the savvy way he moved through Midtown, stashed an e-bike, navigated through Central Park up to the Upper West Side, was seen on the Upper West Side earlier in the morning before the shooting, carrying a battery for that bike. It suggested a familiarity that suggested maybe he was a New Yorker, but the idea that he stayed in a hostel up there for 2 days in a room for 4, but there were 2 other men sleeping in there, so he stayed with 2 strangers, that may change the leaning towards someone who came from out of town and tried to stay in a place that would have a minimum number of cameras and not cost very much, and the kind of place where people don't notice people because it's very transient.
Do you know more about the timeline in terms of when these pictures were taken and this rare moment, as you said, where he put his mask down at the front desk at this hostel before the shooting? It just strikes me that he's in this picture smiling.
I don't have the precise timeline, but in that police were up there yesterday and last night. They did a search of the room. The hotel, of course, cooperated with them and got these, the hostel rather, got these images. It suggests he was probably there Tuesday and Wednesday, but give or take a day. That's something investigators know. We have people up there now talking to them, and something we'll know soon, but it appears to be very recent.
What do police do in this situation, John, when, it's been more than 24 hours, he's still on the loose, he could very well be outside of New York City and beyond? I mean, how far do they cast the net at this point looking for him?
Well, I mean, the real net is global, which is he could have gone to Kennedy Airport, got on a flight, and be anywhere in the world right now, which is another reason to release these photos, which show the face. But I think the current thinking is he came in from outside New York, stayed at this transient location, did the job he came for, and is probably back where he came from, which is yet another reason to put these photos out, because is he from Minnesota, where United Health is headquartered? Is he from Montana or Nebraska or somewhere that has nothing to do with this? Or is he from, Pennsylvania? That's the wild card, and this may help spur that in terms of the crowdsourcing from the public.
Quickly, John, given all of your experience in law enforcement, how quickly, typically, after pictures like this that are pretty clear of his face come out, do you hear from someone who knows the person?
Usually very quickly. I think of the last couple of serial killer cases that I was involved in the NYPD, where we finally got a full face shot with good lighting, and within hours of putting that out, we had people calling in saying, I know who that is. I'm pretty confident that this will work. When you look at that image, if you know him, you'll know him.
Yeah, it's true. We'll certainly.
Snitches. He looks like anybody. He could be anybody. I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe it was. I have an idea. What if it was the CEO of a competitive insurance company? Have you thought about that? What if he was the CEO of another insurance company and he wanted to take this guy out because he's like, oh my God, you're denying way too much. Like, you're too efficient. You've eliminated too many redundancies. Like, you've denied coverage to too many people. Like, that's sick. I'm jealous. And then they did that. You should just arrest all of the insurance CEOs, all the healthcare insurance CEOs, just to be safe. A real dragnet, I'm trying to find solutions. I'm trying to find solutions to the fucking problem. And a lot of people are not understanding, like, I want this criminal, this disgusting crime to be punished. Okay? And the best way to do that is preemptively arrest every single other insurance CEO. Plus, they're free. Like, they're free of potential other violence. Like, because maybe it's a serial killer insurance CEO and he's going to go and kill other insurance CEOs as well. So this way, like, you get to put him in prison. So, like, they're not going to be harmed. You know what I mean? This is real 5D chess, boys. Okay. I'm thinking big. I'm thinking hard. Seems like a lot of other people are not engaging in the creative thinking that is necessary in this moment. And it's sad to see. Honestly, it's a very sad state of affairs. It's sad to see. I don't like it. I want to put an end to this. It's for the safety of the public. Arrest all the other insurance CEOs. Just figure it out afterwards. You know what I mean?
I hope so. And it's so important for the public to help and to reach out to authorities as he is still on the loose after killing this UnitedHealthcare CEO on the streets of Manhattan. John Miller.
Before he was killed, UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson was facing a lawsuit accusing him and other execs of insider trading amid a DOJ probe. See, gotta arrest the other guys. I think, yeah. I think you have to arrest the other guys too, just to be sure. See, I think, yeah. See. There you go. You just got to make sure. I'm doing this for safety, I think. People's reactions to a health insurance CEO getting assassinated are incredibly dark. Our apologies, but bullet wounds are covered only under a Platinum Plus package. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Look. I think this, like, your reaction to the story is dependent on the way you view society, right? If you think society is it's fine, it's not like things aren't that bad, right? Celebrating death of someone you assume is innocent across the board is a fissure, is a direct representation that, like, at least other people are in a very chaotic, other people have a very different assessment, right? And it's a scary situation for people like that. You know, the Jack Posobiec's of the world, right? Like the supposedly edgy right-wingers who jerked off to that one fucking old Santa Claus looking motherfucker who like shot the protesters, the climate change protests for stopping traffic. Like all those guys are now trying to maintain the edgy status that they have and the audiences that they have that are edgy, while simultaneously also shitting in their diapers because, like, they are definitely very interested in protecting the wealthy unconditionally. And I think part of that is because they just think like, you know, the social order is not all that bad. They don't, you know, they're either tasked with maintaining it and normalizing the pain, or they themselves are in a relatively privileged position, and therefore they don't understand why people would interpret the situation differently. You know? Death isn't a bad thing. It's a part of life. Murder and death is like Sicily and Italy. What about the Abe assassination? Did people also react like this? Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I think it was a little different because with Shinzo Abe, there was a lot of like anti-Korean hatred in Japanese society as well. So when they found out why the killer did it, they were like, oh my God, he had a very valid reason. So their initial reaction wasn't that, but when they found out why he did it, they were like, oh, this is great. We're on board. Like the assassin's wishes were fulfilled. Right? So that's the difference, I think. Whereas in this one, everybody immediately knew what the motive was and everybody was on board, right? And if you weren't on board with this because you're like, well, this like kind of destroys the social order that exists, like this is fucked up. This is vigilante justice. It's like really messed up shit. I understand where you're coming from. If your immediate reaction to this and the celebration of it is like panic, you probably are in a situation where the current social order has benefited you at least enough that you don't fully understand why people are so invested in this. And you see it as like vigilante justice, you see it as anarchy, right? And it's scary. So if you're one of these people that is in a position of privilege, that doesn't understand why people are so excited at this prospect, I think it would be wise for you to try to figure out exactly why people feel this way. Because it's not that America is so fucking violent. I mean, that plays a role in it for sure. But I think it almost feels like a pressure valve releasing for a lot of people where they think like, well, this guy's fucked me over. Guys exactly like him have fucked me over. They've fucked my family over. They've ruined people I know's lives. Like they've ruined the lives of my loved ones. And now one of them got to come up. And now if you think that is inappropriate to think, then that's fine. You can feel that way. But if you want to fix this problem, there needs to be legislation. And I promise you, I'm not talking about the type of legislation that makes it like extra illegal to kill fucking CEOs. I'm talking legislative solutions to why people are so fucking angry, because their anger is valid. Maybe not directed towards this one individual CEO, but their anger is valid. It's real and it's not going away. You understand me? It's not going away. That's all I'm saying. I think it's time. It's time for some universal health care. Imagine if one party captured all the essence and all the energy and all the anger and all the resentment that people were experiencing and very openly declaring right now in this very moment, this pivotal moment, and said, oh, you know what? We have a solution for that. It's called Medicare for All. We've always been on board. It's great. You know, welcome to the fray. Imagine.
Thank you so much.
I want to continue the conversation and welcome in now Bobby Chacon. He is a retired FBI special agent and former leader of the FBI dive team. Bobby, great to have you. Just first, your reaction. I'm not sure if you can see the monitor, but this clear.
Yeah. Europeans watching Americans fix their healthcare system with gun violence. I mean, it's fucking real. This is, in fact, a joke and not actual healthcare policy analysis, but you can find that below. Too bad the story itself would be the shooting and not the underlying reasons. I don't think it matters.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew.
I don't think it matters that the media is covering it as like this massive atrocity, or maybe even taking it one step further. Taking it one step further, and then like openly stating that you know, people are being really gross about his death or whatever. Cat's out of the bag. People feel this way. And better yet, people were not even remotely afraid of saying that they feel this way. I'm seeing my mom's suburban middle-aged mom friends post of like, I hope more of them die. What is even happening, Lamau? By middle-aged, I mean people in their 50s. I am a mom, not a teenager. Also, I didn't expect this to blow up. My mother died of cancer in 2022. She didn't have insurance, and it had spread to her whole body when she found out in an emergency room less than a year before she died. They took down their page of their healthcare, their board of directors. No way. This is what we warned you about. Far leftists are fucking unhinged and dangerous. Great. This right here, I think, is playing itself out in exactly the way I predicted the campaign would play itself out. Republicans' natural position is licking the boot. The Republican natural position is being servile to corporate interests. So in a moment where people maybe go a little out of hand, okay, surely this is not simply just being anti-corporate or anti-capitalist. I'm saying it's definitely taking it one step further. Having said that, however, they immediately reveal their true positions. Okay? When you're a guy who's a Tim Pool fan and you're like, man, this shit's actually pretty dope. And you hear Tim Pool go, what are you doing? You're out of control. You're mad. After he sucked Kyle Rittenhouse's cock and the fucking fat Santa Claus who shot the fucking climate protesters, and then he clutches his pearls like this, and you're a Tim Pool fan who celebrated when those other two things happened, and you see him go in this direction in this moment, and you know how it felt when your father had fucking healthcare coverage denied. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, what the fuck? Do you understand? This is what I mean. I'm not saying Democrats should fucking kill healthcare executives. That'd be insane. Okay? But if Democrats were pro Medicare for all, at a time when it very obviously is something that the public is demanding, maybe even violently, Republicans would do themselves a disservice by constantly fighting against that. If the killer was pro-NATO, would you change your position? Wait, what? What are you saying? I mean, this is pretty much the same reaction leftists like him have when a working class woman is stabbed to death at a bus stop by a repeat offender. This is such a funny take because no one has ever said that. And notice how you had to like make up a fake fantasy about like a random working class woman getting stabbed in a bus stop and not a fucking healthcare CEO getting domed, because it's different, you know? That's a random person who was a victim of a heinous crime. Be careful talking. You're still in the UK. About what? You think I'm going to get shanked, yeah? They're going to give you a Glaswegian smile, mate. Fucking hell. I'll shank yous. It's also wild because the Daniel Perry incident, the Daniel Perry trial is also happening in New York right now. And Republicans have been like freaking out because he killed a homeless person. Like he just straight up killed a mentally ill homeless person on camera. And they're like, you have to free him. So no, they are the ones who fucking celebrate when random, like the most marginalized random people get murdered. So no, that's what it is. You can either have an unconditional, I am no fun, anti-capital punishment unconditionally, anti-vigilante justice, or you can be a fucking right-wing freak. You feel me? Right-wing freaks love when powerless people get killed. It's a power fantasy for them. They hate when someone in a position of power actually gets killed. And when school children get killed, they just go, oh, I love my guns. Sorry, sucks to suck. Thoughts and prayers. But there's only one group that they actually think is horrifying to do violence against, and that is powerful people. Because at the end of the day, their ideology dictates that they must be servile little piggies. Okay? What is this? I love Aaron Rupar because he has the exact personality of Snail from Armored Core 4. Like he's just brimming with white hot contempt, but it's inside of the package of a normal, annoying, scoldy news guy who calls everyone fam. That's insane. He fucking posted an Armored Core reference. That's too much for me. That's too rich for my blood, you know? Anyway. Just something to consider about who right-wingers, what kind of violence right-wingers celebrate. Here's Kylie Chung with a fire take. The way we're socialized to see violence only as interpersonal. Hold on, my food is here.
Full-face photo now of the suspect.
Yeah, Rahel, I think this is the biggest development in the case so far. I think that there's somebody a family, a relative, a friend, a coworker of this guy is going to recognize this. Now, you may have lookalikes. They may have to sift through some of those. But, you're showing this image globally, and certainly within the United States and internationally, this is going to be all over. And someone is bound to recognize this guy as a neighbor, as a coworker, as a family member possibly. So, yeah, I think that they are hours away possibly from actually having this guy identified if they don't have him identified already.
And Bobby, when you look at this photo, I mean, to me, a layperson, not in law enforcement, this feels pretty significant. I mean, if you know who this person is, you can see the person's smile, you can see pretty good facial features. How would you rate this photo in terms of it being able to potentially identify who this is?
Bro, she's like, he's hot.
Well,
she's like, you can see how hot he is. Look at that beautiful smile.
I would say it's not perfect, but it's very good. I mean, it's very good. You can see the shape of his face. He has kind of a unique smile or a grin. He seems very relaxed. I mean, I think with the nose and the chin and the smile, I certainly think people that know this guy, if they see this image, they'll be like, oh, that's so and so. So I think this is a great image to put out there, and I think someone's going to recognize this.
And then, Bobby, if we can just sort of reverse track what we now know. So we now have this photo. Police apparently understand what hostel this person may have been staying at. They have these shell casings with these words on it, delay and depose. I mean, from your vantage point, does it sound like they're closing in here?
Absolutely. They're closing in from several different aspects, right? So we already have the forensic evidence. Now we have possible motive, which is, denied coverage. And now you have this physical image. So they're coming at this from many different angles, and each of those angles is progressively getting to the person. I mean, I think it's very much closing in on him, on actually identifying him. Now it's a question of finding out where he is once you identify him. But yes, I think that the motive from those etchings and those rounds to me is clear, that this was a denied coverage type of event. In that situation, you usually have communications with the person who's been denied coverage, and those communications there's a series of them, and they grow in frustration. The person keeps getting frustrated at each turn that it's denied and appealed and denied. And so you might have a series of communications, however that is, probably emails or possibly the website forms on the company's websites, or written letters even, that show a increasing frustration on the part of the person or their family member in this denied coverage. And each letter gets
Why is this guy giving reasons?
Threats of violence eventually seep into those letters. You'll have somebody, forensic linguistics, go over this and look at those. But there's probably a series of communications that get more and more frustrating from the person.
That doesn't narrow it down, big dog. Just saying. That doesn't narrow it down at all, as a matter of fact. Tens of thousands of people.
Ending it, because nobody goes from zero to shooting someone in the chest. There's probably been communications that show a increasing frustration on the part of the claimant.
And just for our viewers, you are looking at another angle at the very least, or a completely separate photo of the suspect, again, without the mask. Bobby, what do you imagine is happening right now within the police force? Is this a sort of all hands on deck? Now they have these photos, they flood the streets. I mean, what's happening now as they try to bring this person into custody?
They're combing Central Park looking for his clothes. He probably changed clothes in Central Park. They'll probably find the e-bike there, maybe his set of clothes that he changed out of. They're working the phones on international media like yourself to put this out to as many outlets as they can, to get as many eyeballs on these two photos that you're showing now on the screen. I mean, these are great photos. Somebody's going to recognize this guy. So they're probably working the phones on every both national and international news outlet to get this worldwide image, because someone's going to recognize this guy. The forensic people are doing their job. The canvas people are out in the street still interviewing people both in New York and in Minnesota. And then the media people are really pressing the phones and trying to get this image.
The race to catch a killer in New York City, with new clues this morning after the brazen murder of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson yesterday, just right on the sidewalk in the morning in Manhattan. Several law enforcement officials now tell CNN that 2 words, delay and depose, were found at the scene. Depose, written on a shell casing from a round that was fired into the victim. Delay, written on a live round not fired, but ejected when the shooter appeared to be clearing a jam. There's also new video of the encounter, and police say show the killer who planned the attack, targeted this man, and had experience with guns. Let's get right to CNN's Bryn Gingras, who was here giving us all of the breaking news as the details were just beginning to come in yesterday morning. You've been gathering details since. What's the latest this hour, Bryn?
Yeah, Kate, well, that, is a big piece of evidence that they uncovered there, according to our sources from John Miller, just because it might possibly point to some sort of motive here. If you talk about those 2 words, investigators are trying to connect the dots and see if it has anything to do with the fact that Brian Thompson was the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Did it have to do with insurance, because the popular phrasing in the insurance industry of delay, deny, and defend. So that is something that is being asked by investigators right now. But that's not the only thing, only piece of evidence, rather, that, of course, that investigators are looking into. We know there was a lot of things that were left behind by this suspect that right now police are trying to determine if they can get DNA off of, fingerprints, running forensics on them, trying, of course, to get closer to getting a name. And of course, we are asking our sources, are they any closer to getting a name in addition to finding this person responsible? Let's also talk about a little bit more of the threats that police are hearing were made against Brian Thompson. According to sources of mine, I was told that they were some concerning threats that the investigators had come across, really their security team for UnitedHealthcare had come across, made against the entire company of UnitedHealthcare, the CEOs, the executive team, and that was something that was being looked at. According to NBC, the widow of Brian Thompson, she told NBC that she knew about some threats and said, quote, "I don't know details. I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him." So this is also something that is of concern and what is being investigated at this time. So a lot of threads here, a lot of search warrants going on. We know that there was a search warrant at the hotel across the street where Thompson was staying in that room. We also know that investigators are still piecing together that timeline. We know that, according to sources telling John Miller, that suspect left the Upper West Side early yesterday morning, heading downtown, getting off at the 57th Street subway, and stopped at a Starbucks, got 2 power bars, bought a water bottle before actually committing this brazen, really, execution. And investigators were able to get that water bottle and hopefully, again, are trying to see if there's any DNA that can get off of that. So
it could be anybody's water bottle
this morning, but no idea just yet if they're any closer to finding who is responsible for this horrific killing, guys.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be standing by to wait for and hope for another update press conference from the NYPD at some point soon. It's great to see you, Bryn. Thank you. John.
All right, with us now, CNN national security analyst Juliette Kayyem and former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. And Andy, let's just start with these words. I mean, delay and depose. What a big development to have something like this, a message, a literal message from a killer.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, John. It doesn't quite identify the person at this point, but it's a bit of a tantalizing detail. I mean, as Bryn just noted in her piece, it raises some questions as to whether or not those words are a reference to kind of insurance speak. And that would, of course, point in the direction that this person was somehow, was certainly personally invested in this murder. And that, might be a disgruntled customer of the company, could be a disgruntled employee. And I'm sure that investigators are already looking in those areas. And of course, looking at the threat information that apparently the company had been receiving for some time about this specific victim and other potential victims on the team. But those words can also provide forensic significance later on in the case. If someone is detained and has writings in which those words appear in kind of the same context, you could have matches that way. And of course, you might be able to render a fingerprint or DNA evidence off of those rounds and casings as well. So very, very important piece of evidence for the investigators.
Yeah, to be clear, those words delay and depose and also deny is occasionally thrown in there as well, are words very much used by critics of the health insurance industry. I mean, there are books written, it's, Reddit. You don't have to do many searches to figure out that that would be a message about health insurance. Given this message,
Am I crazy, or did they not mention deny? Like, that's literally that's one of the things on the bullets. Like, was it not? No, he said sometimes deny is also mentioned, he said. But he didn't say that it was on the bullets when I think it was. What is this?
all the footage now, Juliet, are you surprised we don't have a name, at least a name that we're not being told yet?
Yeah, and in fact, the fact that we're entering day 2 and that his exit was so sophisticated not only confirms what we already know, that this was not just a targeted killing, but a professional killing. I mean, just the specificity of it, his calmness when he reloads a gun. And now that he's missing suggests he was smart enough to have some sort of exit strategy. 24 hours later, you can't even confirm that he's still in the state anymore. And that will make it harder. We don't know if in the next couple hours the NYPD says that he hasn't. But I think what this is showing is that, first of all, we should just remind him, Brian Thompson is a 50-year-old man with a wife and 2 about healthcare, and everything bad about healthcare is just ridiculous at this stage. He is 10% of all doctors have some touch point with his company, with UnitedHealthcare. In other words, this is such a vast web of associations, and lots of people are probably angry at him. It's a customer service business.
Yeah. He's just a customer service representative. That's why he was making millions of dollars a year as a customer service guy.
Lots of people will be angry, and he's the touch point, or he's the focal point as the CEO of that company, and so there's a lot of people in that pool.
I mean, if you were running a healthcare company, would you be getting protection right now?
If I were, okay, so now this is going back. Looking at those videos, not only does he not have a detail, he appears to have no staff. I've never seen anything like that for a company that large. It may be that that he's always under threats. People are always mad at an insurance company. I spent a lot of time yesterday with people who are in executive protection. Everyone is ratcheting up until they know. Healthcare and other service industries where people are mad, angry, disappointed on the other end are ones in which CEOs are going to look for more protection.
All right, Andy, Juliet used the phrase professional killer. That may be art or science here. But how would you describe the level of skill in terms of the killing itself and also the getaway, and what that means about who this person might be and also the manhunt itself?
Sure. So we don't know at this point if it's a professional act, meaning someone who was hired to commit this murder. It's possible, but we don't know that just yet. What we do know is an extremely well organized, highly planned, sophisticated attack. From everything we've seen so far, from the fact that he was seen carrying the battery to the e-bike, which raises the question of maybe he pre-positioned the e-bike before the attack to stage it for his getaway. The fact that he showed up at the perfect time, which was really a weird time to have the CEO showing up for this conference an hour and 20 minutes early, but he knew that the guy would be in that place at that time, which tells you he possibly did some surveillance to make that determination. His approach to the target, letting the target pass first and approaching him only.
Bro, you guys literally get mad at me, and I don't do a third of the glaze on LeBron that this man is doing for the guy. Which leads me to my question. 1, is this guy the LeBron of killing CEOs? Question number 2, How does this affect LeBron's legacy? Question number 3. Is it glaze or is it valid? Because I think we call a lot of shit glaze, and sometimes it's not glaze, it's just valid. And for LeBron, it's valid. Despite his, subpar performance here and there in the past couple of games. He just wants other people to also feel the glory, That's why they lost by 40. LeBron wanted other teams in the NBA to feel what it's like to be able to drop 40, He's just a good guy like that. Anyway, let's continue.
From behind where the victim wouldn't see him first and, raise alarm. And then the way he walks through the shooting, clearly very accomplished shooter, somebody who's done some training. He has the right stance. He has the right grip on the gun. He cycles through the jam in the firearm like it's nothing. And that's a clear indication of a high degree of training. So, yeah, this guy was no joke. And clearly thought about this, organized it very well, and executed it according to plan.
How long could someone like that hide, Andy, do you think?
I think it's fair to assume that he put just as much thought and preparation and organization into his escape plan. The e-bike was really brilliant. It's an easy way to get around quickly. You don't get snarled in traffic jams. You can actually ride the bike into the park, which you wouldn't be able to do with a vehicle in the same way. So that was great. He's got the big backpack on. It likely has a change of clothes in it. I would guess that as soon as he got a moment or some cover, he took off that coat and the mask and the things that could identify him, and likely walked out of the park in a totally different appearance and blended right in with the crowds of tourists and people going to work. So he could be on the run for quite some time. Now, he's being chased by probably the best police force in the United States of America, maybe anywhere. They have an amazing video surveillance network to rely on. They've been very good about getting the information out to the public to get all these public eyes looking around and thinking and calling in tips. So I think they will get him eventually, but this could take a while.
Yeah. All right, Julia Kayyem, Andrew McCabe, thanks to both of you.
So, speaking of tips, as soon as this shit happened, you have motherfuckers
We actually have some
with NFTs.
We're going to bring in
in their fucking profile picture, immediately going, "We found him!" This guy, Riley. Wait, what? This is his friend, Anat, who shot with a low-tech camera footage of this kid going, it's not an NFT. It's not. It's a character from Brain Pop. Moby is not an NFT. Anyway, this guy had a big ass effort post on Twitter. Worse than NFT is a webtoon. Okay, I don't know what it is. I don't care. Shut up, nerds. Okay. And he was feeling himself so hard. Talking about like, oh, I scrape city bike information because I'm fucking a boring loser. And I think I know what city bike like this killer most likely used. I am working with law enforcement authorities, right? And he wrote this like massive Twitter post, and then everybody started dunking on him, and they're like, why are you snitching, you fucking asshole? You know? Yeah, here it is. I'm fairly confident of where the UnitedHealthcare assassin escaped to. He escaped on an electric city bike, according to the police. I happen to continuously scrape city bike data every minute, so I can see where individual bikes go. The only northbound city bike to leave within 10 minutes of the shooting from any dock near the hotel went to Madison Avenue East and 82nd Street. Bike 421-6511 left the dock at 54th Street, blah, blah, blah. And he reported to the NYPD. I have to assume Lyft/Bay Wheels is helping the police because they have more detailed info. This is the data that I have. These are the only bikes that left the 6 docks within a 3-block radius. Only one matches the time and direction. I can't believe my little data nerd experiment actually amounted to something in the real world. Lamau, I realized how crazy I having to scrape city bike data sounds. I was going to do a little wholesome data visualization experiment. It really would have been crazy to use an electric city bike of all things. So, obviously, we know what happened because we are living in the future. And the context also says, it has been shown highly unlikely that the suspect used a city bike in his fleeing of the scene. While this tracking is impressive, it appears clear both from the photo evidence and from Lyft representatives directly that the city bike was not used. But that didn't stop this guy in the process of flexing how sick he was for scraping this data and trying to snitch out this, like, some random person to the police and maybe getting them in trouble for the crime of getting a fucking city bike. I forget why people was born police. And not only were they feeling themselves so fucking hard, him and his buddy filmed this.
Low tech.
Wait, what just happened?
So there was unfortunately a very sad shooting in Manhattan where the UnitedHealthcare CEO was shot. Seemed like he was targeted. Very, very terrible. But then I was watching the news this morning, and the police chief at the news conference said that the assailant fled on a city bike, on an e-bike. Which is like crazy that a criminal would flee on a bike, like especially a city bike. But I've been scraping city bike data for the past few weeks. This is not it right here. This is it right here where, I can see where every individual bike has been. So I can see, okay, like this, let's see, like right here, bike number like 2164382 entered a dock at 2:03 p.m. and then it exited the dock. Someone else took the bike at 2:13 p.m. At station number 1058, which is Columbus Ave and West 59th Street.
Yeah.
So using all this data, I can see, I checked all the possible rides that the assailant could have fled on, and there were like only 8 rides within the time frame of the shooting. Only one of them was headed northbound through Central Park, so which is what the police said that the guy went through. So.
Bro was feeling himself so hard he filmed this process with a camera that purposely looks old. And then he filmed the outside of his fucking apartment like a dumbass because he wanted to feel important. He wanted to feel like he was in the conversation. Like, what are you doing? Turns out he wasn't even right. And now people are probably fucking sending him death threats, which is inappropriate. I don't think being a fucking nerd means that you get death threats. I don't think it's valid. No, it's not. It's not valid. It's fucking ridiculous, okay? He is not a fucking pharmaceutical healthcare executive, okay? Shut the fuck up. He also kind of looks like he could be the shooter.
I'm like really, really confident that this one ride was where the guy ended up. So he ended up on the Upper East Side. So yeah, I tweeted this. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting, and a bunch of people reached out, and like the tweets getting a lot of likes now.
Yeah, why the fuck do you have this data, Riley?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I like making kind of fun, weird websites that show data in an interesting way, and like I thought it'd be cool to make a site that shows like in real time like all the city bike rides in New York. Because like this isn't data that you can normally get. Like I had to reverse engineer the Lyft app to get this, so it's like data that you really can't get normally.
Wait, what did you do?
So like in the Lyft app, if I like want to go and get a bike, let's say I like click on this stock right here, I can see that, oh, like bike 437,034 is there and like 382,600 is there. This is not public data, but like Lyft does give it in the app. Like it's not easy to get from their like public data APIs, but you can see it in the app. So I reverse engineer this endpoint, and then I set up scripts to like go through and check every minute, every dock in New York. So I've just been sitting on the data. I haven't made the website yet, but I have the data at least. So yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I've been sitting on the data. I haven't made the website yet, but I have the data at least. So yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Get it how I live it. Wait, hold on. Where's the new photo? Where the fuck's that photo where he's smiling, bro? Wait, this one doesn't have the...
Let's bring in NBC.
How come none of these have the fucking actual photo? Who has the new photo? Hold on. Bruh. I don't know, man. This guy right here, officers. Officers, we got him. Officers, this is the guy. You can't throw people off the scent. We got him, boys. That's right. Get this criminal now. NYPD, open up. He's the one. Get this guy off the streets, okay? Yeah, he thought he could get us with a shitty camera. But I reverse engineered it. With my 5-head hacker moves. Yep. Get his ass, officers. Please. Are we sure the shooter is a good guy? After all, he went to Starbucks? That's such a funny take, dude. Yeah, no, he's allowed to break BDS, okay? He could have been chugging a Diet Coke in the process. Girl. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. They got the top minds on this data.
To bring in NBC News analyst Clint Watts, a former special agent with the FBI. Clint, good morning. This is a fascinating and tragic case. And when you look at some of these facts that we now know, especially this breaking news about an inscription of some sort on the shell casings themselves, what do you make of what we know?
Yeah, interesting the different scenarios that can play out. One, it's a targeted killing, maybe sponsored by an entity, versus a personal grievance, and maybe this individual had against the victim or the United Health itself. Looking at the two, the reconnaissance obviously was done and was quite remarkable. The shooting, the shooter was very good with clearing that jam with a weapon, would show weapon experience, the escape route, and the pre-planning. All of that is in place, which would seem to suggest there's some professional, sort of capability there. At the same point, the engravings, that are being reported on the shell casings, using actual purchases at a Starbucks right across the street, those are things that you just wouldn't see from something that was a more professional sort of assassination attempt. You wouldn't be caught on camera either. So just looking at these two scenarios, I think we just need a lot more evidence.
Okay, that part's not true. Bro, it's New York City. Hella parts of New York City have cameras. Like, what do you mean? Also, y'all haven't caught him. The CEO flag is at half mast. Beautiful. They're flying a Patagonia vest half mast to honor the fallen sea. How tall do you think he is? I can't tell. I mean, he could be like 4'3" or even 6'8", honestly, like something in between. Like sometimes when I look at the video, I'm thinking like, oh, that's like a 4'8" guy. You know what I mean? And then other times I look at the video, I'm like, maybe he's like 8'11". It's just weird. Guys, I can't begin to explain to you. I just can't seem to place my finger on what this guy looks like. This one individual guy, he just looks like everybody. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in this. Some other people in the chat have also made it clear they too have no idea who this guy is and can't seem to place what he looks like. He just has no like unique traits to him at all. Just so generic. Is he? People say he's white. I don't even know. Is he a white guy? Like I said, I'm face blind and race blind, so
Evidence to understand which way it might go.
And some of that evidence, again, was found at the scene, those shell casings that we were just talking about. It said defend, deny, and depose somehow inscribed on the bullet casings. What does that tell you?
Yeah, that would seem to suggest that there's some sort of a personal or ideological motive around this specific target. What you also saw in that video is it was going after that gentleman, but not anyone else. So this is not a random shooting. This is not a spree shooting that we might be talking about. This is somebody who was specifically targeted. You see those words there. It's probably attached to some sort of a motive, some sort of a grievance for going after that specific target.
So what are investigators doing now? I mean, there's cameras everywhere. They were able to track him to a certain point. But now what? As every hour passes, this as presumably gets more difficult.
I think that's another thing that's remarkable about this case is New York City's got more cameras than just about anywhere in the world. Maybe London and Singapore are two others. Where does this individual go for their escape route? They go into Central Park, which is one of the places that's most difficult to actually keep track of an individual over time. So from now forward, I'm sure the NYPD are moving very aggressively on really three things. The evidence around the purchases at the Starbucks and the evidence left behind, the gun casing. The gun casing will also have marks of the actual weapon. So they're going to try and see, is that weapon registered? Do they have some sort of ATF? Do they have some sort of evidence that ties?
That's insane, chat. Calling all my deductible daddies and premium princesses, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare just expired, and we about to file a claim on this campy coffin cutie. Shout out to all my copay cutthroats who stay denying the system and working the gag order. Today's the day we snatch this funeral fantasy and serve it with a side of universal healthcare. No network restrictions, no pre-authorization. Send this to 10 of your network Nancy's, or say bye-bye to that policy payout. If you get back 5, you're a certified claims queen. And if you get back 10, we all get in that single payer puss. Hashtag claims denied. Hashtag system approved. They found him. Yo, oh my God, police. This man right here. I'll have you know, he's got priors. He's got priors. Philadelphia suspect on the run. Dude, that looks exactly like him. Oh my God. Chat, you did it. Wow, I'm so proud of this community. This is how you know when you got 37,000 of the top minds, when they get together, we do it. We do the damn thing. We found him. NYPD, here he is. Is a Philadelphia native, okay? He goes by Benjamin, also known as BB. Please arrest this man. I know he has priors already. He has priors already, okay? Like some pretty bad crimes, actually, honestly, like mass starvation, like using starvation as a weapon. Think about that. Arrest him, please. Thank you. Another case closed.
To a shooter, and then the escape route, you know, moving from Central Park and beyond. I'm not seeing much reporting on it yet. I'm hoping they can break that case open today.
Are you surprised they haven't caught him yet at this stage?
We have seen so many times in recent cases, Hoda, where they have closed in 24 hours. I expected overnight that there'd be more evidence about the escape route. I haven't seen it yet. I'm hopeful that sometime today we'll get more information.
Thank you, Clint. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Fox News. See, this is my shit. I want to hear what these fucking scumbags have to say. Because, like, the media loves stories like this because they love the clout. They're clout hungry. So they'll cover this. And in the process of covering it, like, they will kind of glaze the shooter and stuff. But Fox News, I don't think they're going to say anything nice. They're going to be like, this disgusting scumbag needs to get the book thrown at him. He needs to be assassinated.
News alert at 19 minutes before the top of the hour. The suspect, man, screen left right there, in UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson's cold-blooded murder, still on the run at this hour. As new reports say, Thompson was one of several executives reportedly facing a Department of Investigation for insider trading. Here to discuss, we've got former federal prosecutor and criminal defense attorney, Andrew Cherkasky. Andrew, thanks for making the trip out to Long Island.
Why the fuck are you guys getting PTSD when someone says top of the hour? I haven't done a top of the hour ad break in fucking weeks. Ever since my contract expired, I haven't figured out a new way to debate you into subscribing. And people miss it. It's so funny. You guys don't know what you got till it's gone, by the way. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. Yeah. You take the top of the hour ad break away and you put up a parking lot, dude. That's what I did. That's what I did. I paved Paradise, top of the hour ad break, to put up a parking lot. Ooh, pop, pop, pop. Yeah. Sex Haver, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I don't know what's happening today. Dude, when I'm in England, I'm in a weird ass mood. Champagne Cyclist, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Whispers, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. One healthcare CEO gets clapped, and I've never heard you sing this much on stream in 5+ years. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a sad day for America, okay? Monty Moon! Thank you for the 5 get the subs. I don't know why I'm smiling from ear to ear. It has nothing to do with that. That's so stupid. Why would you say that? I'm smiling to hide the pain. No one knows what it's like to be Brian. Is a trauma response. Yeah. We all grieve in our different ways, okay? We all grieve in our different ways. And I'm grieving right now. I'm grieving hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm so sad. Womack, thank you for the 5 get the subs. It's a sad laugh. Every time I laugh is a laughter hiding the sadness. Paluki, thank you for the 5 get the subs.
When you watch the video, What does it look like to you?
It looks like somebody who's somebody trained in firearms, somebody who's capable of using it. He looks insensitive to the fact that he's killing somebody. So there's some degree of preparation, a lot of thought, and he was ready to do it. Whether that means he's a trained assassin, like some people are saying, perhaps it's a step short of that, that he just had practiced a lot with the firearm. But there is definitely a strong motive there. I think that what we see in that video is somebody who is very committed to following through with this crime. And so now there's all sorts of speculation about what that motive could have been,
right,
and whether that might lead us to actually finding him.
Okay, so that picture right there, I believe, is taken in a nearby Starbucks. And this was before the shooting. And the guy bought a couple of power bars and bought a water and got a cup. And so presumably there would be DNA on that. Obviously the cops have.
My bro had to stay hydrated, dude. What do you mean? He probably just wanted to go on a trek. I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is a random guy. He needed his prote. Bro was yak. He needed his prote. Long day of biking around New York City, bro.
Already hoovered up everything in that Starbucks. But if he is a trained killer, he's probably wearing gloves.
Well,
Oxford Union has blocked me from talking with you. Oxford Union girls convo blocked me from you. Oxfordian lad. Bruv, they wouldn't get off you? What are you talking about? I was the kid who was waiting outside. Okay, there was a lot of kids waiting outside. This does not help me understand who this person is, but I took photos with everyone that I could. Talk was amazing today. Nice to see you. Oh, you did get a photo. Okay, then what are you complaining about? Yeah, he's not. Okay, going back to the story, he's not even hiding his face. He's a COVID truther. COVID is still very much a thing, and he's taking precaution. You cannot get upset about this, okay? I'm being for real. You can't. It's fucked up. It is. Don't be shitty. No, I'm not saying it's not. I knew as soon as I said that, there were going to be some people who were going to get mad at me because they think I'm joking. I mean, I am joking. He's not masking up for COVID. But I'm not joking when I say COVID is real. Oh my God. What? I was the first guy you met at the meet and greet yesterday at Cambridge. The one who said you were mostly right. Chat said I was glazing, but you deserve it. Come at me, chat. Hell yeah. This does not look like the other photo. Like the new photo that came out doesn't look like him at all.
Well, there's the probability that he might be wearing gloves, although we see in the video when he's holding the gun, it looks like he doesn't have that. So are they running that DNA? Are they actually getting something back? Or perhaps that's something in the garbage can that fella kind of was that disappeared. I'm most interested in the bike. He went to a bicycle, city bike, and whether there's tracking software on that to be able to figure out where that bike went. X has some people speculating about that, but I'm sure the police are deep into all of that on-ground canvassing and looking at every piece they can.
And as people get up on this Thursday morning, the latest tantalizing clues come from, I believe, the New York Post, where apparently on 3 of the shell casings, there are the word, somebody has etched the word deny, depose, defend, which also happens to be probably a coincidence, maybe not, the name of a book about how insurance companies operate and how they essentially work to not pay you.
Right. So there's many motives that I think people are identifying as a possibility. Is this somebody who's disgruntled with United?
It's crazy. They're like, this Brian guy was a real piece of shit. He could have a lot of enemies. Okay. You don't understand. Okay. It could be a disgruntled former employee, says he sucked dick. Could be a former, patient. Could be a doctor who hated the process. Could be anybody, really, at this point. It's like we got 250 million minimum suspects here, okay? They all have some reasonable motives, as a matter of fact.
Healthcare because of a denied coverage, something along that line? Or is this somebody potentially connected to this DOJ investigation, worried that perhaps he had information that they didn't want released, or many other reasons? But if this is actually somebody who's put in a lot of thought and was kind of an assassin here, could it have been misdirection to write something on those bullets to make it look like somebody who had a problem with the insurance company but had a different motive instead? So there's a lot of different ways this can go. The police have to be very careful not to jump to conclusions to avoid not finding the actual suspect. They're canvassing as much as they possibly can and looking at every possibility.
Misdirection. I never thought of.
I don't get it. Why aren't they saying that it's a gay lover? Like with Paul Pelosi, they were quick to jump on that. With Paul Pelosi, they were like, oh, must be a gay lover. How come no gay lover? How come no gay lover theory? What's going on? It's the one shooter they're not transvestigating, dude. All of a sudden, definitely a man. I don't know. Could be anybody. Okay? I don't know what size this person is. I don't know what he looks like. How come y'all are so sure he's a man? You don't know. All of a sudden, one healthcare CEO gets shot, and everybody's Mr. Lawman over here. Everybody's taking it super seriously. Children get shot. Everyone's like, oh, it's got to be trans person. Healthcare CEO gets shot. Everyone's very serious with their news coverage. What happened? Let's wait for the facts. And by that, I mean, let's take a couple days off from this. Let's take a couple days off, maybe a couple weeks off from the manhunt. Let's put it aside and take a deep breath. And, maybe we'll get back to this with fresh eyes. All right.
That.
Yeah, you have to be open to that.
Hey, look into the book. Maybe it's that kind of person. We don't know yet.
That's
Let's
right.
see if they catch him today. Andrew, thank you very much.
Hope so.
We have some breaking news that just came into our newsroom just a few minutes ago. State Comptroller Sean Scanlon says a controversial insurance policy will not be going into effect in our state. Yesterday, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield released information about a cap on anesthesia coverage, saying if the surgery extended past a time limit, it wouldn't be covered. Scanlon says that is not happening in our state. And Attorney General William Tong says that he's looking into the proposal as well.
UnitedHealthcare? What did we do this time? A PET scan? No, we barely cover human scans. Listen, sir, you can talk about this Beta Island all you want. We're not going to approve a continuous glucose monitor.
This is from a year ago. Who else is watching after the CEO was clapped in New York City? Damn. Wait, this guy kind of looks like the guy.
It's too much monitoring. Yeah, Zofran requires a prior authorization. Well, if the chemotherapy causes nausea, then we'll talk. No, we can only approve 10 milligram tablets. And if your patient even thinks about splitting those in half, we will surprise bill the hell out of them. Okay, but the chest pain didn't end up being an emergency. I know you have evidence that says this patient needs a CT scan for cancer surveillance, but counterpoint, no. I'm just saying. I'm just saying maybe the brain tumor will go away on its own. preventative health care. I understand you don't think.
His response?
Okay, so I have been tagged hundreds of times about this UnitedHealthcare CEO murder. Usually when I get tagged this much, it's because somebody slept in their contacts or used Visine. Don't do those things, by the way. So this is different. First, let me just clear something up. Jimothy is innocent. He needs to stay gainfully employed. He would never do something like this. Also, two things can be true. One, that murder is bad, that even bad people who do bad things don't deserve to be executed. It's okay to think that. It can also be true that UnitedHealthcare is an evil corporation that has caused pain and suffering to.
Ooh, you would say that, Jimothy. I don't know. Seems suspicious.
To millions and millions of people over the years. This is a company that denies claims at a rate that's higher than every other insurer out there. They deny so many claims, they have to outsource claim denials to a company that gets paid per denial. This company is called EvaCore, by the way. Come on. UnitedHealthcare has vertically integrated their company to the point where they can dictate which medications patients are allowed to be on, not doctors. This routinely leads to patients who are chronically ill, who are stable on a medication regimen for years, who all of a sudden have to change medications.
Bro did the OJ Simpson if I did it. Dude, this is the if I did it. I swear to God. He's like, listen, here are the many reasons as to why, I'm not losing sleep over this.
This is something that doesn't work, all because UnitedHealthcare got a better deal from a pharmaceutical company. UnitedHealthcare, or Optum's business strategy, is so anti-competitive that the FTC has sued them. And the CEO is the leader of this organization doing all of these terrible things. People are hurting. People are financially devastated by our healthcare system. They're not able to get the treatment that their doctors recommend. So it's not that hard to understand the social media reaction to this shooting, which I would describe as unsympathetic. All the jokes, all the snark about the shooting, it's all a coping mechanism for a population of people who feel powerless in our healthcare system. Who are any of us to tell people?
No way. They're flooding it with fake tips. Wait, what the fuck? Is this not working? Oh, God damn it. Come on. Let me have this for free. Fuck. Okay. The authorities have been flooded with tips from all over the country, and each potentially credible one must be run, a senior law enforcement official said. Every question leads to 100 questions. This is a solid investigation, and I'm confident he's going to be an ex-client, ex-employee, or a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, I don't think he's a conspiracy theorist, man. Like, I don't think this person is like hallucinating.